Hi, I'm Sarah Wijesinghe. I have been an academic for the last 6 to 7 years within the academic systems of Malaysia as well as the UK and now back in Malaysia. Today I will be talking about the book The Illusions of Freedom that I wrote and published with Gareth Budaya. So, this story is a story that started in 2016 when I came to Malaysia to do my PhD on a scholarship. Before I entered my journey in academia, I had this very idealistic image of academia. I thought that universities are places where they functioned with the highest of moral and ethical codes, where they functioned out of curiosity, where they functioned for the purpose of understanding the world, the phenomena that makes up this world. And I thought very idealistically that academics who are part of the university structure are also people who are very much dedicated to this endeavor of pursuing knowledge, of understanding the world, and expanding our understanding of the world. That is the kind of image I had about universities and also academics who are part of the system when I first entered the university system in a way that I was part of the backstage of the university system. And this idealistic image that I had of universities obviously came from, by observing the facade. But what I slowly started to uncover within the backstage of academia, within the backstage of the higher education system, was drastically different from the image I had of it when I didn't know about the backstage. So that is what this book is about. It's a personal story, a journey that goes into the backstage of the higher education systems in Malaysia. Now, I really want to say that the problems that I've highlighted in this book are problems that are unique to the education systems of Malaysia, but unfortunately, because universities today function everywhere in the world within the neoliberal and capitalist systems, many of the problems that I've highlighted in the book are very common to universities across the world, whereas some things you could say are unique to the education systems of former colonies, like the phenomena of captive mind or coloniality in the higher education structures. So this book journeys or presents a story of a young Asian female scholar who goes into the academic system in Malaysia with very high hopes and very optimistic view of the system, and slowly comes to uncover the problems within this system, starting with the colonial mindsets that I witnessed in every part of the knowledge system within the university, and also what the competitive ranking systems have, the ways in which these Western-centric competitive ranking systems have boiled down into the university spaces and how it affects the whole purpose of a university. I've also highlighted aspects of how these dominant ways of thinking assimilate the way we perceive the world as per what is taught to us in these university structures. And another major aspect that I've highlighted is sexism in academia, and what I experienced as a young female scholar in the higher education system. And you might ask me, like, why did I write this as a story? Because this is a discussion that I could have written as an academic discussion. And this choice of writing this book as a story was very intentional. And the reason was because of the very elite way that higher education knowledge functions. To break it down, I saw that many of the things that we wrote as academics and scholars, it did not really go into the hands of the general public for two reasons. One is because of the language we used when we wrote those scholarly publications, which is completely outside of the general discourse or the way we talk about issues amongst the general public. You know, academic publications tend to overuse a specific jargon, and more, being very honest, it's only accessible to a very few people who function within the same discipline. And so it cuts the general public from being able to engage with these discussions. And secondly, the reason is because I felt that this is a conversation. These problems that we have within higher education systems, it's not just a problem that is important for academics. This is a problem that affects everyone in a country, everyone in a nation state structure, because universities are very important for nation building, and they have a very important role in shaping the minds of people. So whatever problems that are part of the backstage of a university is essentially something that affects the wider population as well. So that's why I wrote this as a memoir, as a story, so that anyone can read it and understand what the problems are and what we need to urgently reform within the higher education system.